everyone, it's Stori here, and this is RP Weekly. So first off, I want to give a huge shout out to our pod, or RP pod, whichever you really prefer to call it. They are that, I know a couple weeks back I put them in the notable blogs because they're a roleplay podcast, and they give information, and they're going to have guest speakers, and I just wanted to thank them for giving us that shout out in their second podcast, and just keep up the fantastic stuff that you guys are doing. It's awesome. So thank you very, 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 very much. So for roleplay trends this week, I have a few things. First up is Task Weekly, and they did their 10th task, which was glasses. So any character or face claim that had glasses both on or off the screen. They also have on the post, which I have in the description below, they also have a master list of face claims in which to make resources for. So I thought that was very helpful to try and, instead of having to figure that out on your own. Secondly, a lot of people are taking on, are plotting to open roleplays or have opened roleplays, but they're not quite ready to put in the commitment that having a roleplay requires. And instead of going more into that, that was just a trend I saw. I'm going to move on to the third thing, which is that supernatural sanctuary type roleplays are flooding into the tags. I don't know what it is, but I'm about it because I love supernatural things and I love to see the creativity that people can have. And then fourthly, aesthetic icons. I think I put in at one point in a goodie bag like women of color aesthetic icons. I don't remember if I actually did that or not, but it was somewhere in my mind. But I believe I have included this time in this goodie bag some male of color aesthetic icons. So they're, instead of a specific face claim, they're tend to be faceless icons that you'd see, images that you would normally see in aesthetics, but icon size. First up this week, I want to bring up murder mystery, but like the classic kind, like think like Clue. That's the kind that I would love to see play out. And so that one I'm going to give 3 corgis to. And secondly, I need to calm myself for this because I just watched the second act of Carmilla last night, and I would love to see a roleplay that is based off of the Carmilla, maybe not even just the specific main characters, but just the world, because so much goes on that we don't see on the screen. And I know it's also a book, so I would adore to see Carmilla roleplay. And so I'm going to give this 5 corgis. 5. Third, I have steampunk. And I don't know if I've ever actually seen a steampunk roleplay, so I'd really love to see something like that. It'd be really cool aesthetic-wise to bring into the roleplay world. And so this one I'm going to give 4. Yeah, 4 corgis to. I am a huge Dragon Age fan. This is not new. But I would love to see a modern Dragon Age, meaning take the characters and bring them into modern world. I recently wrote a fic, and it was a college AU one, and it wasn't completely modern, it was semi-modern, but it was still a fun universe to put those characters into. So I'm going to also give this one 5 corgis. And finally, for my RP wish list, I have Chronicles of Narnia. And I'm sure there's RPs out there of it. I think I've seen, in days past, I've seen some of it, but recently I haven't. And that just kind of popped into my head, and I thought, why not put that on the list? So for Chronicles of Narnia, I'm going to give 3 corgis. For my favorite faces this week, I have Brandon Suhu, who is a Chinese actor known for Dusk Till Dawn. Oh boy. And secondly, I have Lorenza Izzo, who is a Chilean actress and model. So first up for notable blogs, I have Foxhole Court RP, and this is a roleplay that's based off the book series All for the Game by Nora Sokovic. I probably pronounced that wrong, but we'll go with it. So it focuses on characters which tend to be underdogs and just outcasts, and it's centered around this game called Xe, I believe is how I pronounce it. There's actually a whole guide on their blog about the rules of the game and who's on what team and all that stuff. They do accept OCs, and there's also a guide that tells you what sort of characters they won't accept or will accept. For example, as an admin, I know personally, like, I don't want to have an OC character that's very similar to a character that has already been written, and there's a bio open for them. So it's kind of along those guidelines. And next is Devil's Point RPG, and this is an OC plotless roleplay that's set in Colorado. They have a locations list, and you can request a location. Like if you want a specific store that your character's family owns, you can request for that. They have a suggested occupations page, and on this page it's sorted by locations, or like aka like a store or whatever, and it tells you what positions are open in those locations. Next is something a little bit different. It's called Paradigm Verse, and they are not a role play, they're a verse, obviously. And so what the difference is there's way less restrictions in terms of when it comes to role plays. There is no limit on how many characters you can take. They will still have tasks and plot drops, so at least that's similar. So their main storyline is that it's set in 2097, and humans and the government have been keeping monsters and immortals basically captive in this prison in the not great conditions until it was accidentally opened. And so some of these supernatural beings remember what had happened in the prisons. Others are slowly starting to get back their memories. I thought this was very different in terms of when it comes to the RPC, so take a look at them whenever you get the chance. Next is Wild World HQ, and this is an Apple's roleplay that is inspired by Shameless and Skins UK. Obviously, they're located in Chicago. Next is Colony 22 RPG, or if you go off the URL, it's the Colony roleplay. This is a post-apocalyptic roleplay. Colony 22 is a small island off the coast of England, and post-apocalyptic, obviously, so New Wave Reformists have taken control. New Wave Reformists, that's like their name. They come into power and they want to take all these infected, aka citizens who have these inhuman abilities since the world ended, basically, and they want to monitor them and capture them. What I thought was very notable, besides the fact that this plot's really cool and the characters are very awesome, is that they have a navigation of frequently asked questions. So it's sorted by the subject, so if you want to know something about the colony, click that link. So that's a very helpful resource, I think, in terms of getting new members in. And next is the Once and Future Kingdom, and this is obviously a roleplay that's based off of King Arthur Legends. They take OCs. They have a ton of information available about the time. They have plenty of some of the more well-known characters available to take on. I really enjoyed the bios, and it's fucking Merlin, okay? Like, I'm all about it. Next is Shipping Up to Boston RP, and this is a crime roleplay that is set in South Boston. You can play as a neutral character, or a law enforcement character, or a vigilante, or one of the characters that are part of the Bridget Boys, which is a gang in South Boston. And now on to indie roleplays, and for this week, first up I have Miss Haruno, which is Sakura from Naruto, and they just have and on top of that character, they also have a bunch of other muses available. They have like a huge page of just whatever one you want with information on each of them. And next I have I'm the Blacksmith's Daughter, and this roleplay account is Guinevere from Merlin Universe. They are multiverse, multi-ship, and crossover friendly. And then I have Worlds Collide, and they are multi-fandom and muse, so they have a ton of different muses for your choosing. And for Twitter roleplays this week, I have Stardew RP, and this is actually a group-ish one for Twitter. It's a university roleplay, and you can pretty much be any character that you want there. And then I have Catsy Jones, and this is a wrestling roleplay character. I couldn't tell, I'm not knowledgeable in the wrestling community, I guess. So I think they're an OC, but don't quote me on that because I don't have full information. But I greatly enjoyed looking through their Twitter. And then I have Broken Loyalty CA, and this is a Captain America roleplay. And then finally I have The Hawk Spider, and this is obviously a Natasha Romanoff roleplay account. And so that's all I have for roleplay blogs, my notable blogs. So for the goodie bag, I have many things in there actually. There is Lucas Till in MacGyver gift hunt, and I'm fucking pumped about that, let me tell you. There are a few guides in there. 41 emotions as expressed through body language. So it just gives you ways to kind of write emotions in a different way that you might not normally. In the spirit of fall / upcoming Halloween, I have creepy Wikipedia articles, masterless, so just a bunch of articles to check out, like Bloody Mary I know I saw in there. There is a Creating Potions guide by Ministry of Roleplay. How to RP on Chatsy, there's a guide on that. There's more gift hunts, there's PSDs, there's themes, and oh, I'm caught. There's themes, there's a font pack, there's just a bunch of stuff in there this week, some good stuff. I kind of went a little bit overboard, but that's okay. It happens. So that's the end of this video, but next, well, tomorrow, a special little video will be posting up on top of the usual vlog. So as I did after episode 10, it's another 10 episodes, this is episode 20, and so we're going to do bloopers of me making a fool of myself more than I show on camera. I hope you enjoy. I'm excited for the vlog because I have some things to share. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. That's all I have for this week's RP Weekly. So have a great beginning of week, end of week, whatever time zone you're in. My name is Stori, and I will see you next week on RP Weekly.